It's Don the Auction Professor. Today I just wanted to touch a little bit on where eBay is going, in my opinion, and some of where it came from. Back in the day when eBay first started, you could do a lot of things that you can't do nowadays. Back in the day, I remember you could actually bid once on your own item, on your own auction. Obviously, that's no way allowed anymore. You could leave feedback for other for buyers of you as well, negative feedback instead of just positive, and there was no 5-star at all. For those who don't know, 5-star didn't used to be around. It wasn't a big thing. I was in hospitality when 5-star first came out, and it was a way to judge like service and such forth in a restaurant and in retail establishments and the business industry, and then they had some other standards that they included with it later on. And then eBay actually adopted it, and Amazon and the whole works. And a lot of other things that are going on now are geared towards more professionalism, I would take it, and more locking in guaranteed income, like Amazon with the return policies and things like that. You know, certain items aren't great to sell on Amazon anymore. They've cut down on the books, which we don't do at all anymore on Amazon, other than just, you know, self-fulfilled. We don't really do FBA much anymore after they raised the fees. And along that line with clothing too, the returns were high on clothing in Amazon, so we literally stopped doing used clothing on Amazon. And now eBay is going that same route. So 5-star jumped in from another area of business, which is restaurants and hotel and hospitality, as I said, and they're literally stepping in the same way with guaranteed returns and just on and on, the things that they're going to be doing this way. And it's actually steering eBay more towards allowing more and more Veros to happen. So new items are being added as these industries realize that the brick and mortar stores are dying, which they are. We see it constantly. Toys R Us was a big one that just took a dive. More happens every day. Blockbuster is another good example that they want to adapt to the system as opposed to letting it fall and crush them like Blockbuster lost out on. Had they done streaming earlier, they might have been the leader in streaming as opposed to Netflix or Amazon, Prime or whatever the case may be, or Hulu, whatever. But the point is, eBay and Amazon are adapting to what's going on, and so are the other retail establishments. Nike, all the companies that sell new clothing to all the retail giants are realizing that there's a huge market for their seconds, their discounted items and such forth. Because I know I check out, sometimes in the past in holiday seasons we check out clearance aisles and things like that to resell. And a lot of people know it's hard to get on to sell some items on Amazon at all. Even eBay's heading towards that way now. Veros are added constantly from what I see. And clothing is the biggest hit. High dollar items, shoes. Some of the coats are going that way too. But for us, we've tried to steer away from too much of the items that could even possibly get a Vero. So that's another consideration there, that eBay's heading towards a spot that might be almost in sync with the way Amazon's doing it. And they're buying up other sites that actually do the internet sales, and auction sites and such forth are combining to make bigger companies. And so you need to diverge and expand your business to other areas. In my opinion, that's what we've done. And I'm not looking at what's going to happen this year or even maybe next year. If I want to do this for a living, I need to know and think about what's happening in 3, 5, 10 years down the road. And what I see more and more of is it gearing towards Amazon. And Amazon is not great anymore for selling certain items certain ways, and clothing, and is a large chunk of a lot of people's income. We've tried to stay away. Clothing is nowhere near a big, huge chunk of our income. We do sell a lot of it, but paper is like our biggest income. And so we've steered away from items that are going to be risky in the future or cause us hassles or other issues. Returns are the biggest reason. We don't mess with a ton of individualized clothing like jeans and things like that. That's our biggest reason. So for us, we've literally already been gearing up towards the way I figured eBay would be going this route. I could honestly see eBay in one of these days going to a free-to-list kind of thing and just charging you for a basic store, kind of like the Amazon, the $39.99, and then you can pretty much list whatever you want, and they just take the fees out. More and more people are more in tune with what that aspect of it. So there's no money up front that they're collecting for eBay. Even if you don't sell anything, you have a store, you know, you're still paying them a ton of money, you know, $3,000 or more a year. So, and we've got 2 of those, so for us it's even more. So we're literally gearing up right now. We've been worried about the changes. I wouldn't say worried. For us, we can sell the same kind of items on Amazon too, which we do on a daily basis. So for us, if eBay goes that route, we've already swung a lot of our invoice or our inventory towards items that aren't, you know, Vero. They're older items. They're, you know, 20 plus years old. They're vintage records, and we do books still, vintage books. We do, you know, any kind of music, if it's music at all, or any kind of media, home movies, regular movies, 8mm, 16mm, 35mm. Even sometimes I've gotten lucky and had some of the 70mm Dolbys. But that's the kind of thing. I've seen some other YouTubers that had some in. I know Craigslist Hunter, I've seen the cases, so I know he had some 35mm film at his facility, but that's the kind of stuff that I like. Anyway, but we've tried to steer away from all the riskier areas, and we're trying to keep up with what's going on, you know, a year or 2 down the road. So that's one of our thinking and philosophies on this, is let's get away from areas that may go away. If all the companies realize that they're not selling, you know, much in the stores anymore, brick and mortar stores, and that most 60-70% of their sales nowadays are coming from online sales, they're going to go after the people who are remarketing their product on, you know, sites for cheaper and undercutting them. They're going to go after that. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And whether it's going to be shirts or, you know, they could conceivably ban used clothing at some point. Somebody could. Who knows? All it takes is some pressure. All the big businesses to realize that they're losing a ton of money in their eyes, and, you know, they could stop it. And they can stop used clothing as well too. It doesn't really matter. They can deem it anything they want at any point. I don't see that happen anywhere in the real near future, but I see more and more Veros happening that, you know, there's going to be so many that you miss one and, you know, you're done. But that's what we think of, and that's what we're looking for. So don't just think about what's going on right this minute. If you plan on doing this, as we plan on, this is our gig from now on for the rest of our life. If I can figure out how to keep doing it the way we're doing it now, and things keep moving the way they are, that's our goal, and that's what's going to happen. I don't care to really work for somebody else again anymore in this time in my life. I've missed so much with my family and my kids, so this is our goal. This is what we're going to do. Whether we keep going this route and then introduce our own products from scratch and things like that, because we've got some kids books that we're actually working on. I've been illustrating those quite a lot lately. The wife's actually been writing them. We'll put some little promos out for it here in the near future. But we do a lot of stuff like that. We write, both of us, the wife and I. So I mean, we're trying to expand what we do. It's not like a how-to books. We literally write like novelish style material. Going to be self-publishing some on Amazon in the future too. But that's our goal, is to steer away, to get stuff that's our own items, get branded on Amazon, you know, with our name, so no one else is going to use it. But we're trying to expand. We are trying as well too. I know we've geared away from the clothing, but for us, there's a whole big, huge projection for what's going to be in 5 years and what's going to be in 10 years. I don't have anything out past 10 years, but I have in my head, and we have been writing all the way up for 5 years. With the way the sales increase year by year, we can kind of judge that that's been a given, and it does happen every year. We've got a very huge marketable increase in income and in sales. So if we just keep expanding on it, we get all of our employees will be coming back full time starting in another month or so when school's out. So we'll be pushing and probably getting up, hopefully, 2,500 listings a month, I hope. Cross my fingers, but that's a goal at this point. If everybody's on the ball and everything's rolling good, that should be a goal for this year and then beyond. And then once we get this stuff up, we probably won't be listing a ton through fourth quarter. We obviously list any high dollar new items that warranted in the 90-day plan, but that's about it. Hopefully that just gives you an idea on what we look for and what we feel the market's straying towards. I know you all can see it because of some of the policy changes at eBay and how they are trying to mirror Amazon now. So just keep some of that in mind, hopefully, and hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like button below and tell a friend. Have a good day.